Hey folks, homecoming weekend, class reunion celebrated this year, 2012, 07, along with 02, 97, 92, 87, 80, through 86, 77, and 72. All sorts of great things happening. Check-in, 10 opens, Alumni Hall lawn at 4 o'clock. That happens to be tomorrow, October the 6th. Zip line behind McKee Hall. Is that actually a real...
Oh, it's a zip line. That's why they call it a zip line.
Good luck, we're all counting on you. And also classroom lecture by Dr. Calvin Troop, a West Reading Room. It's going to be happening at the McCartney Library. Registration requested. A crafty creation in the North Hall. That's going to be happening as well at 4:30. Just a couple of other things. Alexander Dining Hall open to students and families. Registration required 5 to 6:30. All alumni dinner, alumni award ceremony, Sky Lounge, followed by the Genevans concert. You're going to have a concert too by the Genevans at the John White Chapel at 8 o'clock. 9:30 classes 80 through 86 open house at President Troop's home, and then a bunch of things happening on Saturday, including the Athletic Pancake fundraiser. You're going to have Geneva Alumni and Family Prayer Gathering, alumni baseball game, 33rd Street Field, which is an awesome field, and at 11 a.m. for those who love all sports, and I do, women's volleyball taking on Westminster at Matheny Fieldhouse. So lots of stuff. Another Genevans concert, John White Chapel at 11:30, and fun and activities throughout the night. And also, you're going to have a book signing. Professor of Philosophy, Dr. Esther L. Meek, is going to be greeting alumni and friends with signing copies of her book as well outside McCartney Library. Class reunions and women's tennis match versus Thomas More at Brady's Run at noon. So I think that's a pretty good rundown, don't you?
And then there's something going on at 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah,
Saturday.
I knew I forgot something.
Yeah,
0-5, they lost to Grove City, but that means nothing, does it?
No, absolutely. It means nothing. They will come in hungry. They're going to come in looking for their first win. They're going to play extremely hard. We've had a great rivalry with them. The record means nothing. Absolutely nothing.
All right, let's go back to the Teal game a couple of weeks ago. 33-24, the final play went your way finally. McGowan blocks a field goal attempt, avoided overtime. Zach Hall picks it up, and then he goes on to score to give you the win. Trey Marshall, 27 yards, third game of 200 yards or more. Bryant Weant, 8 tackles. Joe Shively, 6 tackles, 2-2, and 1-1 in the President's Athletic Conference. So now, before we talk Waynesburg, that game must have felt pretty good winning it in Greenfield, Pennsylvania. Huh?
Yeah, it was. We did everything we possibly could to put ourselves in a very difficult position, but we found a way, and the kids found a way, the players found a way to overcome it and overcome ourselves. And the play that Hall made on the blocked field goal's big, and actually Reed Kissick blocked it, smacked him in the face, and bounced up to Hall, and he ran. It was. We needed that win very badly.
I know you did. Well, things are going okay. Grove City's defense regrouped at half, and Washington Observer, a story I was reading, they went on to defeat Waynesburg last week, 21-14. Yellow Jacket sophomore quarterback Tyler Perrone intercepted on 3 straight possessions at one point. The only thing that those mistakes do for a young quarterback, they teach them to get better, and he will get better. And you know what? He's got everything as his football team in the way of to win here and nothing to lose. So in a way, when you have someone that hungry, it can be as frightening, if not more so, taking on a 5-0 team.
It's very frightening. And I was up early this morning thinking about it.
I believe it.
Oh, at like 4 a.m. They're going to play hard. It's going to be a great game. We're expecting a huge crowd like always on homecoming. It's just great time.
All right, when you think of this PAC, President's Athletic Conference, I've been doing a little research because we've been doing these gigs. I think it's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of great rivalries here.
A lot of great rivalries and some really, really outstanding football programs. It's rated as probably one of the top 10 conferences in the country. There's like 23 football conferences. And because we got Carnegie Mellon and Case in the league, every week, it's like being in the Big Ten. You have to get ready to play because everybody is trying to put a competitive product down on the field.
As I was walking into the Matheny Fieldhouse tonight, everybody kind of getting, fixed up and ready for the big homecoming weekend, and I was walking alone, and the only thing I could hear was my sneakers basically on that beautifully waxed floor, and just looking at all the photos and pictures of people and the years that have gone by and the tradition and the history. it's a special place, and you've been here 25 years. You went to school here, and believe me, they all have their special place. But there's those few that stand out, whether it's because of what they've done on the athletic field,
Right.
what they've done in the classroom, what they've done with faith and family, how they've gone out and really paid it forward in the community. Just some players come to mind on this homecoming weekend. You know.
Well, yeah, the first players that come to mind are the guys that right now we have in our locker room. These kids have a very special attitude because they're not real rah-rah or demonstrative in what they're doing. But this group works, they go at it in practice. I think maybe once we had to maybe stop practice and regroup and say, you know, we got to get it done. But from a work ethic standpoint, as far as attitude, as far as team, as far as how they fit, this is a pretty good group.
How about some of those players?
And from the past.
Yeah, that was kind of the original thought process.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you brought that up about today's players because there is a difference. I think goals are different. There's much more than just athletics today as opposed to when you were here and even further back. It's all good, but I think these young men do have a different outlook. But those who were here years ago, many of them that you coached, football was huge to them. Not to say that it isn't for this current generation, but
Huge.
back then,
And it's still huge.
it was all there really was, some
You know,
of those players.
There's not a week that goes by that I don't get a phone call from somebody like, you know, a Mike Holleran,
Oh, yeah.
an outstanding player, or Justin Myers, outstanding
Jeff
quarterback,
Belts.
Jeff Belts, Melvin Cobbs, you know, Willie Murray, Gerard Machete. I could go. We can go on and on. We've had phenomenal kids here over the years, and it's really tough to pinpoint just one. I mean, anywhere I go in the county, I end up running into someone that had played here.
Not to turn this into a movie, but do you ever kind of just freeze in time during homecomings when you're at Reeve Stadium, like halftime, and you know your team warming up, or maybe you're coming out for the second half, or even at the end of the game with the traditional handshake at 50-yard line, and you look around and kind of go, how many more? How many more? Because you've been here for so long, and I know you have a lot of stuff that you want to do, but it has to be that frame, that picture, that moment, that each year is special to you.
Each year is getting faster. It
Yeah.
just it's you know, you get into what I wrote an article for American Football Monthly and National Magazine, and was basically on managing your career as a football coach and a collegiate coach. And whether this is the fourth quarter of where I am, I don't look at it that way. I really am looking at it from a standpoint of what are we doing today? What am I doing today with these guys,
Right.
with this staff? I got a tremendous football staff, great support system with our president, with our athletic director. You know, I don't want it dead. You know, as long as there's another game to coach, there's hope.
Let me just tell you, I was recovering from this hernia surgery. Heritage Valley Health System did a great job, Dr. Lee Young. But you know me, I've always been fast and furious. And believe me, long before
Yeah.
they ever named a movie, it was me.
That was you.
But today, slow on the mend, but still trying to get out and do things to stay active. I actually heard the second hand on the clock ticking in my basement.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard it, and I heard it, and I went, boy, I haven't heard that in a lifetime.
Right.
So my goal at this point in my life, I love spending time with you, but I want to chill and hear that second hand a little bit more. Because you know what? I missed a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to miss any more.
And at homecoming, the one thing that you sometimes don't get a chance to look at, the color of the leaves.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. You get so focused in on what we're doing in football that sometimes, you know, you don't get a chance to look and just say, wow, this is a great time of the year and a great place to be.
And the families and the homecoming, you know, God's pretty good.
Oh, God, it's very good.
He knew what he
Amen.
was doing.
He sure did.
Made you. All right.
And you.
Well,
No, he did.
I think they were grading on the curve then, though. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come back one more time. Steelers have a game against Jacksonville. Paul Pislesny.
Oh, what a
We'll talk
name.
about that young man. He's coming back to town, the Hopewell native, in just a couple of moments. We're at Geneva College. Stick with us, folks.